Molo. I am eyonaminentle, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I really appreciate it. Before we even go any further into this video, I really want to thank you guys for all the love that I received on my first video, which was my intro video. I truly appreciate it. Diabulela Betuna. Thank you so much. So here, today's video is a story time, and I just wanted to get straight into it. So in my intro video, I mentioned a little bit about what I do for a living or what my career is in, but I didn't really go into why I do it. And I think if you can understand why I do it, you'll be able to understand the different career content and informative content that I share on my channel, and you'll be able to understand why I do that. So I work in social impact and tech, like I said in my intro video, and I do this in the startup ecosystem in South Africa. And if you are familiar with startups, you know that they primarily exist to solve a problem. And the problem that we exist to solve is youth unemployment. As much as I consider myself a highly empathetic person, I honestly don't believe that I would have ever been able to understand the problem that we're dealing with when we speak about youth unemployment had I not gone through it myself. So I am going to basically be telling you the story of this from the beginning. If we're going to start from the beginning, we're going to have to rewind all the way back, seemingly around 10 to 12 years old. So around this time, I started just figuring out the use of money. I started really figuring out negotiating rules, negotiating boundaries with parents. When they say no, I need to come up with a very solid plan on why they should say yes. So I started being very interested in having a social life, but I wasn't allowed to when I was at that age. So I tried to basically figure out what are all the reasons to say no. And a lot of the time my parents would say, no, you can't go to the movies because, I don't have money to send you to the movies or whatever. So I figured, okay, so if I had the money to do this, I can basically be able to go. And then I learned that you have money, you have to work. So at 13, I was dead set on getting a job. At this time, I stayed in KZN on the South Coast, in Margate and KZN. That's where I grew up. And everyone around, like the older kids in my age group in my town, were all working downtown at like little restaurants, like coffee shops, Mag and Bean. And I really wanted to do that. So I just decided I'm going to go and get myself a job, honey. I decided I was gonna dress up like I was gonna dress up and basically make it believable that I'm 16 and I'm gonna get this weekend job and be a waitress and get me some money. Okay, so I went downtown. I go downtown to Wimpy. I get there. It's my first day on the job. I am learning menus, when table numbers. Yay, ziyabuya, ugele uzixelele uba uzospana. While I'm deep into basically my first day of training, my mom shows up. I don't even know who even told her I was there, because I definitely lied about where I was going. She found me and she brought me back home, and she basically told me, you're not going to work, you're too young for that, children don't work. But remember, when I was younger, I was a theater kid. I always, had big working girl dreams for myself. I just always wanted to take control of my life, build something for myself, have a career. Even at that age, in my head anyways, I always felt like I was 26 living in New York City. That was basically when I was 13, and then I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to do something for myself. I started learning how to do hair. I started braiding people, so that's how I started making money. And now I could do this in my own home, so I didn't have to need permission to go out or anything like that. So that was great. That was my solution for the longest time. I started really falling in love with hair, falling in love with just the whole entrepreneurship mindset, and I really enjoyed it. That's basically when the bug bit, the entrepreneurial bug bit. And then now fast forward to when I am in high school. So now I'm 18, I'm 17, I'm supposed to pick what I'm going to be studying. And this lady who is basically coming into our high school to give us guidance. She asks us, what do you want to do when you're older? What do you enjoy doing? What are you good at? She's looking at your grades as well. And I was really good at chemistry, but I enjoyed, like what I told her I enjoyed, is that I enjoyed solving dynamic problems. So when I told her that, I was basically saying, like, I want to solve problems every single day of my life. That's all I feel energy from doing. And then she says, you know what? And you're also good at chemistry. You should be a chemical engineer. Yeah, you should definitely do chemical engineering. And I know nothing about chemical engineering. In fact, it's my first time even hearing about it. But I told myself that, I'm gone. I got a bursary. I was very excited. I went to school, and then now two things are now happening now that I'm in varsity. I'm learning about what exactly this chemical engineering thing is, and I'm also learning about who I am. And not Aishangan. Because I'm understanding that as much as I have a passion for solving dynamic problems, I have more of a passion for empathetic problems, or problems that are solved and designed, and their solutions are designed with empathy in mind for the user or the person experiencing the problem. This whole thing that was happening was completely different from what I expected. And I was just very, very disappointed by the experience, very disappointed about what I'm learning. I started becoming very detached and dark, uninterested in a lot of things, life. And I went through what I now know, or I call academic dysphoria. I actually have done a TEDx talk about this because it was so impactful in my life that what I learned there now began to change the direction of my life, which is where I now find myself unemployed. So I now decide, okay, I've dropped out. There's nothing for me in Joburg anymore. I decide to move to Cape Town, which is where my family was staying at the time. I decide, you know what, I now know who I am. I'm not the kind of person who's going to be studying towards being something. I'm not going to study towards a career like being an accountant. That's just not me. What I do need though is a qualification that gives me transferable skills where I can apply those skills in being an entrepreneur. And then I decide that what is more important for me is for me to identify a problem that I am so passionate about that I can spend years building different solutions for this problem as an entrepreneur. So I start doing business at UCT. Let me recount my experience at UCT thus far. I am enjoying myself. I didn't even know that school could be this enjoyable. I've been having the most amazing time. I've been learning, being excited about school, something that I didn't even think existed, like being the. And I am also, very immersed and involved in the UCT and Cape Town ecosystem. UCT ecosystem is especially in the startup ecosystem where kids are starting, businesses, ideating, pitching. I'm all in there. To the point where I'm now working for this startup that's actually based in Silicon Valley. If you know Silicon Valley, it's like one of the biggest startup ecosystems in the world, in San Francisco, America. And I'm now working for this startup, helping them build it. It's like an app for food deliveries. As much as I'm, contributing, not in a big way, but it's very significant to me because now I think I can build a relationship with these people. I can eventually, play a bigger role in their team. So now it is the beginning of my 3rd year. And first thing is that I have outstanding fees, don't have money to go back to school. And like I tried to apply, I have done everything even prior to me getting to this moment of beginning of the year. I've done everything that I can think of to make sure that I can pay off my fees. Nothing has worked out. And then I come to, you just accept, okay, cool. Oh, you're not at school this year. Okay, cool. What's next? I still have the startup job. So I'm like, you know what, girl, you're still where you want to be. Okay, you still, talking to the people you want to be talking to, you moving towards the right direction. Great. I now get as well an internship with this company that does impact investing. If you don't know what that is, it is basically companies that facilitate investments into social impact causes or into emerging markets, but they were in the micropayments and microcredit section, so it was like loans and credit and stuff that. And this is an office job, but the San Francisco job is a remote job. So I'm enjoying juggling these two things, but even though at the back of my mind it kind of sucks that I'm not at school, but it's fine. Can't. Very, very bad. What happens is COVID hits. COVID hits, and now the startup says, they were building a food delivery app, and obviously they had restaurants sign up, and now a lot of restaurants were going out of business. And they were just saying, a lot of the restaurants that they're working with are going out of business, so they are also going out of business. So unfortunately, breaks my heart. But I'm like, I've still got the internship, but the internship was also a short contract, so that ends probably 2 weeks after the startup job ends. Now andisebenzi, andifundi. Yeah. So that's how you went back to that little girl that really just wanted to work and do something and take control of her life, and everything was closing in front of her. Like every single opportunity she wanted to take was just closing in front of her. And yeah, it was horrible, guys. Like it was just days on days of having all sorts of thoughts about, what am I doing here? What am I doing with my life? For the first time ever, I started questioning the decision that I made to drop out. I started questioning everything, questioning myself, questioning God. And then I tell myself, no man, Pakama Kelly, apply, also right. I don't know how many CVs I sent out. I literally went from applying for jobs that I absolutely loved, okay, that I knew, oh my gosh, I would thrive. Oh, I can just imagine the team. Oh, I can just imagine. 2 jobs where I'm like, I qualify. I have the skills. It's fine. I don't care anymore. I just need a job. I just need something to do. And I need like an income. Like that's all. I started now applying to these jobs that I wasn't connected to, and I didn't see a future for myself. I started seeing that girl that was doing chemical engineering, that didn't see a future for herself, that started dissociating with herself, that just started feeling like, I need to do this. I can't be a quitter. At the end of the day, I can't quit. Yeah. Guys, it was tough. Mind you, this lasted a whole year. I even went home. I went home to the Eastern Cape. It was the end of the year, but I told myself that if I can't find a bursary, I was also going to be looking for business opportunities. So people that wanted to develop entrepreneurs or anything like that, that's all I wanted to do. So now I find this opportunity where it's 100,000 Rand bursary plus a mentor from this community of CEOs, and one of the old mentors is going to be one of those CEOs. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This puts in everything that I want. I'm going to love this. I get to the shortlist. I get to the top 2, the final interview. And I'm excited. I'm telling myself, yeah, I get it. This is your breakthrough. You've got it. This is going to be your life now. And life is not done. Zia Kala. Now, on the day, I was told the wrong platform. Like, apparently it was on Meets, I was on Zoom. Now I can't get onto Meets because I have to download the app because I'm using my phone. Now it's taking a long time to download the app. and I end up getting there 30 minutes late. Mentally, I'm gone. I'm on the brink of tears, and I'm being interviewed by like CEOs of like very big companies, like a very big bank, a very big entrepreneurship organization, and now I'm just like, there I am, literally failing in front of people who I wished would want to, take me under their wing pretty much. And then I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm going to be as polite as I can be here, do my best, and leave. Okay, so now the interview's over. I get an email from the chairman of the platform where I found the opportunity. And then I'm thinking, okay, so this must be a good thing, right? Sharp. But I'm like, also, just keep calm. I meet with him, and very lovely guy, wants to get to know me, asks all sorts of questions, and then he says, okay, before we go any further, you didn't get it, so how do you feel? Guys, when I say my mind just went it just went silent, because now I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? But I'm also thinking, okay, focus on this call, folks, you're still here, so don't be thinking about all of these solutions, we'll figure it out later. So I just start listening to him, and then he says, okay, I think like after we get to know each other, I tell him about how I'm so passionate about, solving, dynamic problems. Now I'm that girl that was talking to the guidance lady years ago in high school, and I'm just telling him, I'm passionate about dynamic problems, especially complex socio-economic issues, and especially about, designing user-centered solutions for them. But I'm also telling the truth. I'm just like really being myself, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what, if I will ever get an interview again, let me just spill it. So I spill my beans pretty much, and then he's like, okay, you should actually meet with our country manager. And he scheduled a call with me, and then we spoke, and then they basically made me an offer for a job and for a bursary as well. And they were just like, they really wanted to have me on the team. What I'm now doing my team is that my team and I are focused on our community and making sure that we understand what it takes to make them successful. And as a young person, to be able to replicate this feeling of finally being able to get a breakthrough and almost feel like you're starting your life. We all deserve a chance at being able to fulfill our potential in whatever it is that we want to do. We are allowed to explore any kind of success that we envision for ourselves. If you are unemployed and you're watching this, I would really just like to say that, first of all, I may not understand all the details of what you are going through or what you go through every single day, but it is valid. It is so valid. I know how hard it is. I commend you for still engaging with the world. I commend you for still waking up, still editing your CVs and sending them through. I really, really commend you for doing those things, because I know how hard it is and how hard it can be, and how your mind can really play games with you during that period. You have to really keep going for what your heart wants, because that is where you're going to be placed, is going to be perfect for. Now come to the end of my story time. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and please, if you are comfortable to do so, please share your story with me if you have one in the comments, or connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. I'll have all my links in the description box. I also have a link to our platform where we provide entry-level jobs for young people, free nano courses or micro courses that can teach you so many soft skills that are important in the job market today. They are completely free, and they are on WhatsApp, all to make sure that you can save your data. We'll see you in my next video. And have an amazing day.